Mr. Speaker, I stand today on Treaty 1 territory and in the homeland of the Métis Nation. And I say thank you to the Premier for offering the apology on behalf of all Manitobans today to those who were taken away and affected by the 60's scoop, because it is not just those who were taken away, but it is the families as well who were so severely affected. I also want to thank Minister of Aboriginal Affairs for his efforts to listen, to reach out to people who were affected by the 60's scoop, and to have a major role in organizing the event that we had at noon and making sure that this apology happened. So thank you, Minister. I want to recognize all those who are here today who were taken away as part of the 60's scoop. And I want to say to you personally and your families, I am sorry for what happened. And I want to say on behalf of my leader, Rana Bokhari, and Manitoba Liberals, we are sorry for what happened. And we recognize that in saying sorry, that there is much more now that has to be done to address what has happened and the conditions that people are in today, and what needs to be done to bring, for all of us, a better future. But for you who were taken away in particular, we need to pay more attention and provide more support and more help. I know that there are those who were taken away in the 60's scoop who have spoken out and said, you know, this is too late. I think it is an important day. An apology is never too late. It is vital that it is done. I fully embrace, as I believe all do here, the apology that is happening today. And I think it is important recognition of what was done wrong in the past, just as we all need now to get together and move forward in a better way, recognizing what has happened. I want to personally thank several people who have helped me understand the situation of the 60's scoop. In the 1980s, I met with and talked at some length with Angus Woodford, who was one of those who went out and searched out children who'd been taken away often in the United States, but sometimes in other provinces. And we had some long discussions. Angus put in a tremendous effort, and it was not easy. And I remember talking on many occasions with him about this. Angus is now passed away, but I want, in his memory, to thank him and others who made an effort to address this over the time since it's happened. Thank you, Angus. I want to thank David Chartrand from Camperville, because we have had the opportunity to have a number of long discussions, and he was taken away. I never realized until I had talked with David and with Peter that there was literally a van or a bus which came down the street and literally herded children into the van or the bus and took them away. You know, I just couldn't believe that this could have happened in the 1960s here in Manitoba, but it did. And that, of course, is why we're here today. But it's important we understand that there were some things that were done which were above and beyond what we would ever have believed could have happened. And that's not taking away from some of the abuse and the other sad stories that happened when people were taken away and put with other families. Fortunately, some of those families helped, but some of them were not easy places to grow up. I want to thank another individual who I talked with more recently, and he talked about how he was walking along a road when he was about 8 years old. A car came up and pulled him into the car, and away he went to be taken away. His family wasn't told, and it was years before he was able to reconnect. I mean, the type of thing that happened, fortunately, I think would not happen like this again. But you know, we have to recognize of the terrible things that were done, you know, in a way that is so difficult to understand. It's important, and this has been said before, that this apology is not the end, it is the start. It is the start of a major effort not only to create better awareness of those who were involved in the 60s scoop and what happened, but it is the start of an effort to try to better help those who have been involved and who have been so severely affected. And I think in a number of years ago, and I would just say this briefly before I conclude, in about 2006, I sat down and with a conversation which I remember vividly today, with a woman who came to me and said, you know, we had the residential school system. We've had the 60s scoop. She said, you know, there are more children being taken away now than there were in the residential schools or in the 60s scoop. And we have, and I think this commitment is starting to better support families, to stop the apprehension and taking away of children, and to recognize that for mothers and children there is a sacred bond, and that sacred bond starts in utero during pregnancy, where the fetus is able to hear and listen to the heartbeat and the words of the mother, and that bond grows after pregnancy as the child grows. And of course there are important bonds with the father and other family members. And these bonds with the extended family are incredibly important to all of us, and we need to work and make sure that we recognize the importance of children and families and build upon the mistakes of the past and build for all a better future. And with that I say, I'm sorry once again on behalf of myself and I believe all others here. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. Merci, miigwech ekosi.